Hello, we will be discussing your solution to one of the questions that you answered during the assessment. Can you walk me through your thought process while implementing the solution?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we were asked to uh, do the recommendation thing using coroutines. So here I created three Go routines, as you can see in the code. The one Go routine is for retriever, product retriever, and we basically create four channels for that, like three for each of the three tasks, which is product retrieving, recommendation engine, and response, and the fourth one is to catch any error that might come during these three process. So we create three Go routines for each of these tasks, and we send their result, in those channels, and each of the task might take the result of the previous task, so that is also handled there.
Got it. So, you mentioned using channels to pass results between the Go routines. Can you explain why you chose to use channels instead of other concurrency patterns?
Sure. Channels is very well designed to work with taking results from Go routines and then working with them. It helps. It is much easier with channels to take the results from multiple Go routines and sort of use them in a particular order if you want.
That makes sense. You also mentioned handling errors. How do you ensure that errors from any of the Go routines are properly managed in your implementation?
Yeah, so we use one single channel for catching errors in any of the tasks. So if any of the task gets an error, we get the error in that particular channel, and hence we can do whatever we want with that particular error. In my code, since there was much less time, I could not do a lot, but we can send an API request, API response, sorry, of a failure, let's say 422 response code.
That's a solid approach. Just to clarify, how do you handle the situation if an error occurs in one of the Go routines after some of the previous tasks have completed?
Yeah, so if an error occurs in any one of the Go routines, I think our recommendation system would not work because it
Right, that
requires
makes
that all of
sense.
the.
So it seems like your voice is cutting in and out a bit. Could you repeat that last part?
Yeah, so basically, if any of the Go routines gives an error, then we will need to return an overall error because we need all the three steps to complete before we can give a final recommendation answer to the user.
Got it. So you'd return an overall error if any step fails. How would you implement a retrieval mechanism for those failed tasks?
We can use multiple approaches to do that. One simple
Could you
approach.
share one approach you might consider for, implementing retries?
Yeah, we can simply check if error is coming through the function that we are calling. If it is error, then we can simply use a counter. Let's say the count maximum counter is 3, and we can try calling that API again for 3 times before quitting the program.
That's a straightforward method. How would you ensure that the retries don't block the other Go routines from executing?
Because we are
Hey, are
using
you
Go
still
routines, we are using Go routines, so it will not block the other Go routines from working.
exactly? Using Go routines allows for that non blocking behavior. One last thing, how would you test this entire setup to ensure everything works as expected?
We can simply implement, let's say, dummy functions which return dummy values, and we can simply just run using those dummy values to check if it is working fine.
That's a practical approach. Using dummy functions can help isolate and test each component effectively. Thanks for sharing your insights.
Thank you.